Well, hello, Don Terrace. How are we doing today, my friend? I hope you're enjoying the cruises a great deal. Right now it's 4:06 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is still December 15th, 2022, on a Thursday. We got about 9.5 days until wake up for the big 2-5. Then afterwards, another few more days before countdown until 23 hits. The Spirit of God is going to be a hell of a lot better than 22 was, I'll tell you. This is the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which would be me. I sent a few to you. I hope maybe you've seen them and understand. My channel is not one of those kind where you're looking for followers and likes and stuff like that. It's like more of a, well, as the title is, a diary. I'm just trying to tell me and whatever, maybe something for future reference for people who are trying to understand what it is to go through grieving, mourning, suicidal thoughts, living, surviving. So I try to do whatever I can. I also throw in politics, memories a lot, family. You were, I know you were disappointed about telling the people about the death. Sometimes it's not that hard to talk about it. It's not easy to talk about this, Don. Especially when you're going through a great deal of it. I'm putting this not as pointing at you directly. I'm just saying in general, sometimes I have to use an example of you, the audience, or sometimes you, which would be me, trying to avoid the first person as much as possible. And I can tell you that I have been undergoing a great deal of the thoughts concerning about self-destruction. It still scares the hell out of me. But it doesn't preclude that I don't stop the thoughts in its tracks because they still happen. They still happen to me. And I'm dealing and I'm surviving. I mean, I've had a few things that happened to me already that are physically had driven me to a point of insanity, not to mention crippling a bit. I've had things that would challenge a kid left and right, wondering whether or not if he's actually going to survive the thing or not. But I'm supposed to survive the tragedy, I'm supposed to survive the trauma, and still continue to do things as if it was normal. It's not normal. It's never has been. I'll show you sometime. Now, if you happen to see anything crawling around over here, just don't freak out. It's just still a bugworm I'm dealing with. Damn cockroaches. During this season, they're trying to find places to hide and hibernate, and I'm one of the war zones. But if you can see the cabinet, top shelf, right above Mama's picture in the Christmas tree. Yeah, you see them, don't you? The big blue one is Mama, but there's supposed to be a darker one in right behind Big Mama's picture of my big brother. Yeah. Caregiver to both of them. Sometimes it gets hard talking about it, and sometimes it gets hard about dealing with what's going on right now as it is. I can only tell you that the show you something. Well, it's the only kind of Christmas decorations I can actually get myself going at this point over here, because if I don't, I'll be driving myself crazy, Don. Christmas is one of those holidays that I used to celebrate with my family a great deal. Lights mean a thing, and decorating Christmas trees means a thing for me. But what drives me crazy sometimes, Don, is what you have right now. I wish I still have. Family. It's hard. The only way I'm going to be able to get some Christmas cheer is try to get some of the lights going on, because I need this for my own thing. You know, I wish I could really afford to go back on a cruise, because if I could, maybe it would be like a 7 or 10 day if I could actually afford the luxury, or actually afford one in the first place. It's kind of hard to do that when you're on limited income and disability at the same time. Oh, mental health has been since the day I got into a heart surgery at the age of 4 years old. I had to crack open the chest just to get to the heart and repair mitral valves at the age of 4 years old. Died 3 times and I couldn't stay. Kept sending me down here to live. There was a note written by my big brother, and he pleaded to the doctors to please save my life. The doctor gave it to Mom. Mom put it in a box for safekeeping. We still have the note. I still have the note. And it means a great deal. It meant a great deal to Mom, meant a great deal to my brother, because we saw and read the note for the first time. First time since my brother wrote it when he was a young kid. And first time I actually saw it, we cried. This was like a few days after Mama passed. Mama passed in 2013. Dave passed in 2018. I lived with him all my life. I'm only 56, and I lived with him all my life. So, family to me, especially those two, were the main thing in my life. To tell you the truth, I hadn't been doing other things that people and young people should have done a long time ago. I was screwed up. I felt like there was a lot of fear of living, a lot of fear of dying, a lot of fear of life. But I still had to survive it. I had to survive school. I had to try to survive college. That's 2 years of screwing up with that damn thing. And then 30 years of busting my ass at different jobs left and right, trying to keep a roof over the head and people fed and bills paid, clothing on the back, washed and cleaned, relatively speaking. But I always stayed with Mom, I always stayed with Dave. It's like I stayed with the nest and didn't want to get out, because I was afraid of the big bad world and didn't know how to deal with it. Now I'm dealing with it since Mama died and then David died 5 years later. Hardest thing to be a caregiver to both your parents, to a parent and a sibling, I'll tell you that much. Because after that, it really takes a toll on you, Don. There's a lot of triggers I just threw at you, and it's boomeranging right back at me. The things that matter to me the most is anything and everything related to family. Even inconsequential, innocuous. They all mean a great deal. And they all put me in so much turmoil over the past 10 years, it's not even funny, that I had to seek therapy this year for it. Of course, now I gotta start hunting for another therapy. I gotta love Kaiser system for that one. Anyway. Getting to the woman. The passenger we were talking about. Or it could have been a guy. Yeah, I'm living right next to a drag strip. This little town of Roseman Boulevard, if you happen to do a Google Map search on it, just use your phone or use your computer right now, do a Google Map search for Roseman, California. The apartment complex right next to Edwards Air Force Base on United. home. It's been home for several years. 4 years since Dave died, and about 5 years when he was alive. It's a long time. I've been going to school during that time, back to college. Died, figured we needed a new place, so we moved out of Lancaster, California, out of one apartment complex to another one, or to a trailer home. Had about a year and a half and got kicked out of that one. Long story on that. Until finally we wound up in this place. I guess it was about 3 years living in this place. And then David passed away. Sudden respiratory problems he had. He was already suffering through complications of a stroke. He was taking away mobility, the ability to do speech, dysphagia. I had to do it. No one else was going to be doing it for him. By the time I tried to get him more help for him, or actually any help, it was already too late. The hardest damn thing is to go into the emergency room, Don. The last time. Hardest thing. I'm trying to say I can understand sometimes the points of view of people who are trying to go on that final path. Because sometimes I feel it, and even though the thought at one time maybe tried to be comforting enough, I'm not done with the world yet. I mean, I still like to go back on a cruise again and have a little fun if I could. Go back to Disneyland if I can afford the damn thing. But the thing is, I'm trying to push myself into is graduating, so at least I can tell myself, I may have screwed up 30 years ago and kicked my ass for this damn thing, but at least I can go out there and try to finish something before I pass. Maybe get a book published of something else. I don't know. I'd love to. But I wanted to see if I could do this. I'm trying not to give any indications that I want to kill myself. No. I'm scared. I've been there. You go up. The experiences sometimes people can try to write books and make profit over. The only thing I can tell you is my soul was free and I was going home and I got denied because somebody upstairs kept telling me it wasn't my time. Go back. One hole they put a patch on. The other one they sewed up, and the other one they left open. By the time I was about 25 to 30, somewhere in there, it was already sealed up. It was sealed. But damage was already done. I already had the mental issues going on. I already been through a few major accidents after that damn near killed me, and it didn't. It's not that I'm saying it indestructible. It's like somebody upstairs didn't want me to die. But I could still be terrified and terrorized by it. And by the consequences. I still had to deal with the fear and doubt, and I was always yelled at by people just, why couldn't I grow up and why couldn't I be a Superman? And to tell you the truth, Don, I wasn't a Superman doing all the things I had to do for my family because it was basically survival, and I loved my family a great deal. I was going to do anything and everything for them. I had to. They're my family. And you do anything and everything for them. Even if you have to do things you don't like to do in the first place, or handle situations you don't like to deal with before, during, and afterwards. Some people can't deal with that, Don. They can't. They don't know how. I don't have an explanation to it. All I can tell them is day by day, I wake up and I deal and I cope. And some days I'm triggered and I feel like a miserable piece of, well, how I'm feeling today anyway. I get triggered. I mean, I could go through memories of different things or different scenarios, and then it starts playing on my subconscious, and then starts playing on the grief and mourning. By the time I'm realizing it, I'm bawling and don't even realize what the hell happened. This is what I talk about. I also try to tell people that once I'm, trying to get myself going past the depression, trying to get myself motivated and just keep working on the damn thing. I'm always worried whether or not I'm going to get triggered or not. And it hits hard, and it's, I hate when it stops me cold. And that's for the people trying to do the stupids. Either they're not thinking, and it could be that way, or else they're choosing it. Probably stupids. But if they're serious about it, I mean, you go through a cruise, and maybe there was a plan in there all along. If they did it until to the point where they're coming back home, it's probably like, okay, I did enough. Now let's go home. We did the bucket list or something like that. But somehow, somewhere deep inside, it had to be struggling. Had to be. You just don't go on that path without struggling with something that tears at your guts and tears at your soul. I lost too many aunts, uncles, a grandmother, which was a mother to my mother, and friends, animals. I know death. And I don't like it. It's like I don't even pay attention if there's any cold shivers in the place anymore, if there's going to be any ghosts, or maybe if the angel of death was still hovering over with the damn scythe ready to chop off my head. Right now, it's like it almost gets to the point where I just don't care anymore. I know, in times like that, I probably would need to talk to a therapist. But I hate living in fear. And I hate living in depression and a lot of grief like this. But I know it gets to me, and I'm disabled that way. However, I've also had physical injuries happen to me also. I've got two screwed up feet right now. The arthritis is kicking in the joints. Speaking of which, come here. Come here, woman. Mamas, come here. Come here, baby. Oh, come here. Oh, easy, baby, easy. I'm not gonna hurt you as much. The only surviving family member. Everybody else is gone, but us. She's the mamas. Yeah. 16, 17-year-old Chiweagle. Yeah. I'm sorry. Chiwiener. Part Dachshund, part Chihuahua. And sometimes a royal pain in the ass. It's an old woman for you. What do you expect? I know. I gotta get you fed. I'll get you going. Some things I have to do. I could go on an emotional tirade at this point over here, Don, but I just wanted to talk to you about this. It's the hardest damn thing for anybody else to go through. Nobody's prepared for it. I don't care what books you read. You're never prepared for this damn thing. But there's also, you're never prepared for waking up the next day and realizing it's still a good day. You just naturally accept it and you move on. Some people can't do that. I'm still working on mine. You and your family have a merry, very merry, happy holiday. I don't know if you're still doing Hanukkah or Christmas, but happy holidays, my friend, and one of these here days I hope to see you on the seas. Yeah, lifey. When it came out, that was the year I was born. So I could probably say live long and prosper. I just, I wish you, in the tradition of Christ's origins, to the to those who are the sons and daughters of future generations of Isaac, Jacob, and Abraham. I wish you all the happy holiday and all the yes of spirits to be upon you and the family on the paths that you sail and tread upon. I hope and pray one day we will meet and will we greet each other as brothers.